Hello to all of you beautiful people watching this video today. Welcome back to Psych Substance. At first, I would like to announce that we are coming up on 2 million subscribers, which is absolutely insane. And to preemptively celebrate our 2 million subscriber mark, I have decided to do this absolutely crazy video. I mean, what videos that I do aren't crazy? If you follow me on Instagram, then you would know that I've been on a pretty big microdosing quest as of late. And during one of my posts about all the benefits I've been experiencing from the daily microdosing mixed with meditation, mixed with exercise, mixed with healthy eating, the whole shebang, somebody said, well, what would happen if you microdosed all of the drugs at once? Now, at first, I thought that this was crazy. There's no way in hell I'm going to microdose all the drugs, or all the ones that I have been microdosing. But then I got thinking, and I realized, absolutely crazy videos usually perform fantastic on YouTube, and I haven't really been posting lately due to being on a hiatus so that I could recuperate some of my creative juices. And B, this is a perfect opportunity to show the world how dangerous it is to combine compounds. Now hear me out for a second. You might be thinking, Adam, if you're going to combine a bunch of compounds, then aren't you demonstrating that you're a proponent of dangerous activities? No, I'm not. In fact, most overdoses, ones which result in death, occur usually due to combinations, albeit it's not usually psychedelic combinations, because when two drugs are combined, especially ones that synergize together, the potency gets upped exponentially, which is precisely what I intend to demonstrate today. I mean, hopefully this is what happens, that even at microdose levels, even at threshold to sub-threshold levels, when you combine a bunch of compounds, it can produce full-on trip effects, which on paper looks crazy because even if you're combining a few, you are still taking very, very small amounts of each one, which again, I think perfectly highlights how dangerous it is to combine drugs in normal doses. There's also the chance that during this experiment, nothing really happens except a normal microdose effect, meaning you might have some heightened visual acuity, you might feel a little more calm. Now, what I'm anticipating is going to happen is full-blown visuals and potentially a full-blown trip just from these small micro doses. As always, I do not recommend that anybody follows in my footsteps, and according to YouTube's guidelines, I will not be demonstrating the actual consumption of the drugs. However, we are going to test the drugs so that I can first show you guys how to do so safely. To make sure that it's not extremely long, we're just going to be testing with the 4 most common reagents. Again, you test your drugs to ensure that they're safe and not cut with other drugs. It's not 100% foolproof, but it is your first line of defense against potentially contaminated products. And if you are wondering why I'm dressed a little differently, it is because YouTube favors people who look professional. I'm less likely to get in trouble for posting content if I look like an upstanding citizen. It's also an excuse to wear these flashy new rags that I got. Like, check these out, man. I think I look pretty snazzy, pretty nifty. Anyway, without further ado, let's dive headfirst into today's video. Starting off, I'm going to throw on the GoPro and we are going to test our drugs. Cheers, guys. Shit. I really hope I got the angle right. I hope when I look down it sees my hands this time. Oh, boy, I feel like it might be too low. Is it too... You know what? If I think it's too low, then that means it's perfect. Just like my direction skills. When I think I should go right, it means I should go left. All right, let's just give this GoPro a test. Let's do some... Got a new filming room, as you guys can see here. Woo! Yeah, this is fun. These GoPros are cool, man. Oh man, we should turn on this light. Let's get some trippy ambiance going, at least before the sun comes up. It is currently, what time are we at? It's currently, 4:53 a.m. So we got a bit of time until that sun does sneak her little head out. Yeah, very dark out there. What color should we go for? What am I feeling today? That. I'm feeling very limey. I like it. All right, we're gonna keep that there. Ooh, a little nervous. A little nervous. Do another jog around the room. Get that blood flowing. Oh, let me rub my crystals for good luck. There we go. Honestly, guys, we're kind of taking things back to the old style. Doing experiments, having fun with it. You know, it's been 5 years of YouTube. I needed a break. I had to convince myself to stop caring about the things that everyone feels forced to care about. So the first compound that we are going to be mixing will be 1CP LSD. And we are going to mix a 15 microgram amount, and then we're going to test it with the Ehrlich. For LSD, you don't need the other ones, you just want the Ehrlich. The other ones commonly won't display any results. Some people say Marquise does display a result. It turns like an olive black, but I've never got it to show anything. Just need more of these bad boys. Okay. All right, there's our 1CP LSD tab. Now 1CP LSD is a more recent legal LSD analog. I feel like it just came out to combat Germany making 1P LSD illegal. I mean, who knows? And it being a lysergamide, it's most likely safe. Let's just put 2 on there for good measure. Now what we are looking for to ensure that this is an ergoline compound, or an indole alkaloid, is a purple reaction. So we want this to fizzle up and turn purple. Now most of these analogs do take longer to change. Now this is a microdose experiment that I tried, combining 5 milligrams of one of Alexander's famous 2C substances, I'm not going to name which one, and 100 milligrams of psilocybe cubensis. So let's see what actually shows up when you test this. This is a great example of something being cut. Let's start things off with our boy Marquis, which is the most common reagent kit that most people have, since it's usually used to test MDMA. Now I actually have no idea what to expect. Interesting. Looks like there's some orange forming in there as well. Oh, there is. What an interesting reaction. And now to do a comparison here. Look at this. So here is what testing ground psilocybin mushrooms that are pure penis envy strain, and this is having them cut. Now the biggest difference, clearly, is the bluey-green reaction, which I believe came from the Marquis. The Marquis should, according to this at least, be this reddish-brown. So if you thought you were getting psilocybin microdoses and you saw something like that coming out of it, maybe there's no psilocybin in there at all. And the mandolin looks pretty much the same. Yeah, the mandolin looks the same for both. This is also a great example of why you need more than one reagent kit, because say you didn't have the Marquis, right? These other results, like if you were looking online, they pretty much add up. I mean, seeing a little red difference could just be the difference in the color profile of your computer. The real way to see that this mushroom microdose was infused with a phenethylamine was via that Marquis result, which, say you didn't have the Marquis, or say you were being cheap and you're only testing with one reagent, you would have never seen that. You would have just got this, and you would have mistakenly believed that your mushroom microdoses weren't cut and they were safe to consume, when in reality, nope. All you guys out there who are trying to be safe and not die with your use, which is hopefully all of you, I really hope that this alone demonstrates why you have to invest in more than one reagent kit. And I should also point out the reagent kits that you need vary from compound to compound. These are just the four most common, but for some drugs, you need shit like the Freud and the Libermans. Anyway, now that we've got that safety bit out of the way, we are going to move on to the next part of this video. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, without further ado, let's move on to the exciting part of this video. It is time to show you guys what happens when you combine multiple classes of psychedelics in threshold to below threshold amounts. Will it produce a full-fledged trip, or are the effects going to be sub-perceptual at best? Let's find out. Now, I do hate to say that I lied to you a little bit. I mean, cup don't lie, I am crazy, but I'm not that crazy. I am not about to sit here and put my health at risk and consume a tidbit of each of these compounds. Hell no. Hell no. And that would just be stupid, because no one is going to do that. That doesn't really help with harm reduction. That was just some clickbaity shit. Instead, what I'm going to do is a far more realistic approach. I am going to take a microdose of one drug from each chemical class, or, each class of psychedelics. The three primary classes being the tryptamines, the phenethylamines, and the lysergamides. Lysergamides being like a combo of the two. There's a tryptamine in there. An example of the most common phenethylamine would be mescaline, mescaline containing cacti, or a 2CX compound. Lysergamide is easy. That would be LSD or its analogs. And a tryptamine, well, the most commonly microdosed, is psilocybin mushrooms. DMT also falls in the tryptamine class. So what I'm going to consume is what I got right here already made, which is a 5 milligrams 2CB to 100 milligrams of some very potent psilocybe cubensis. And I'm going to combine that with 15 micrograms of 1CP LSD, a legal LSD analog. You might ask, Adam, why don't you just use regular LSD? Well, this shit is legal, which is awesome. In microdose amounts, I find the effects are pretty much indistinguishable, and it's more in line with what most people are doing these days. A lot of people have been taking these analogs, so I think for safety, it's best to show what people are up to. But again, according to YouTube's guidelines, I will not show the consumption of these compounds, even though, for all you know, it's just an empty capsule and some frickin' water in a little vial here. But yeah, let's just fast forward to the effects.
According to YouTube's guidelines shown here, videos which intend to educate are documentary by nature and do not glorify the use of drugs. Both abide by the community safety guidelines and are eligible for monetization. The following video does not glorify the use of drugs. Instead, it attempts to be non-biased while delivering vital life-saving information disguised as entertainment.
All right, I'm just going to write down my time of ingestion here. I got 5:20. Wow, this is a fat marker. All right. It's important to keep a pen and paper when you're doing these experiments so you can write notes and observations to be a faux scientist like me. Of course, I should also note the coffee. So we're also mixing this with a stimulant, and you would say, but Adam, coffee is not really anything. Well, this is actually my second coffee today, considering it's only 5 a.m. Oh boy, that is quite a lot of caffeine to be mixed in, which is in line with people who are doing these, drugs. They often, rail some speed or whatever with it. Yeah, let's not even talk about the other things that I take in the morning. Anyway, oh boy, I'm excited to see what happens. Albeit a little bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie. These experiments make me nervous. The first thing I'm gonna do is take a poop, and then I'll be back. First thing I'm gonna do is change into some more comfortable clothing. This is just, it's nice, but I'm kind of afraid of ruining it. And I ruin all my shirts, so let's swap it out for a $10 shirt. That's better. Yeah, that's better. I'm waiting for effects. Let's put on my hat. Sometimes people wonder why I wear hats. They think it's because I'm embarrassed of being bald, but the truth is, I lose like all of my heat through my head. This house is pretty cold. So as long as I have a hat on and socks on, it doesn't really matter what I'm wearing because then my head and my feet are covered and I'm not as freaking freezing all the time. I'm already feeling some effects. It's pretty crazy. 35 minutes in, already got some effects manifesting. I know for sure I don't like being in this room. It's just so white. Feels very cold. Maybe it's because I set that light to green. Let's change her over to red. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't really like being in this room right now. No visuals yet. The only effects that I'm noticing so far is actually some bodily effects. Like I'm starting to feel very relaxed, which is weird because, no lie, I was feeling very anxious, like more anxious than I thought I was going to be. Nobody likes combining compounds, and like I've repeatedly said, the effects are going to be so much different, which is why people absolutely lose their minds when they take these high dose combinations, and it's so dangerous. But yeah, let's update again another 10-20 minutes, and we'll see what the effects are like. All right, it is 6:03. It's been about 45 minutes since dosing. I can't figure out how to get the zipper on. What I'm gonna do right now is go for my morning jog. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a quick one today, just 20 minutes. And by the time I'm done that 20 minutes, we'll be past the hour mark, and I'm sure something will have happened. I just fell down my stairs. I was standing at the top of them. It was only like 3 steps, but ow. Ow. It hurts to turn my head and my elbow. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know what it's a sign of, but I do know for sure that I don't want to make these videos anymore. I do feel effects, like definitely a microdose you're not supposed to feel. It's supposed to be this little added sprinkle of, I don't know what to call it, throughout your day. Uplifting positivity, creative juices, allows you to see things more clearly, literally and figuratively. Sound, ears, everything. Yeah, it feels pretty heavily affected. I feel like the corners of objects are about to start, maybe morphing like a tiny, tiny bit. I also definitely know that these analogs take a while to kick in, so over like the next 30 minutes, these effects are going to grow stronger, which is pretty crazy. They really do piggyback each other, so instead of feeling them each individually, it's like they pile up. The lights look brighter in here. The biggest thing I'm actually noticing is sound. The sound of my own voice. Yeah, the S's. It sounds dramatically. It's like wispier. Yeah, wispier. I'm probably not going to record anymore, to be honest. I'm not saying I don't want to make YouTube videos anymore, or harm reduction videos, or psychedelic related videos, but these like, I'm the guinea pig type videos, I'm too old for this. I don't really want to use myself as an example. I value myself too much now. It's like the reckless Adam is done. Here's the thing, I had no interest in microdosing that combination. I've been really enjoying microdosing mushrooms on their own. So doing stuff like that is solely for the sake of making a video, and fuck it, I don't want to do this shit anymore. Thanks, Microdose Multiple Experiment, for showing me that. Yeah, the effects are getting strong. What am I going to do, sit here and tell you the table's going to start moving? Be careful with your doses, or you could turn out like me and you could fall down the fucking stairs. The universe is showing you a goddamn lesson. Sign, listen to it. You know what, guys? I know why my trip went so south in this video. It's because I didn't have my trusty trip blanket with me. We have about 120 more of these on hand to sell, so if you are ordering within the next 120, it won't be a pre-order, it'll get shipped out right away, and anything after that will be a pre-order. And actually, the orders have been coming in pretty good, even with all this, stuff going on. This is the super soft trip blanket. It would have saved my trip. Actually, bullshit aside, but would have guaranteed to have saved my trip if I was building Gundams or Warhammers. Oh, I should have started building all of these in my trip, and it would have just brought me back to my childlike state, and I would have loved it. Anyway, I've been on break from videos because I've just been spending way too much time building all these Gundam models, and I'm gonna get back to that. So I hope you guys do enjoy the rest of this video. I apologize for the really low nature of it, but sometimes, life is low, I guess. It is now 10 a.m. Don't want to be recording this update. This has been an absolute nightmare. 5 hours later, effects are finally starting to die down. As they were coming on, I literally fell down the stairs. Triceps still throbbing, back hurts. Probably can't exercise for at least a week. I messed up my whole healthy eating thing because in an attempt to diminish the effects, which came on way too strong than I wanted. See, you can't really control how strong they come on. I ate a whole bunch of food. The whole dieting thing went out the window today, but most people don't give a shit about that. Overall, it's been absolutely terrible, but good in a terrible way, because I really did realize that I'm too old for this shit. And I'm worth more than putting my body at risk to make these videos. And sometimes when you're in a good place, it's scary having an experience that kind of brings you down, because you thoroughly know what it's like to be down, and you don't want to be, you don't want to be back down there because of the risks that are associated with it, such as if you have addictive tendencies, all of that jazz that I don't necessarily want to go down. I don't want to go that route again at all. And I'm pretty confident in myself now, but this experience has been awful. I really do realize I don't want to make these kinds of videos anymore. I've always been a video maker ever since I was a wee little lad. I just don't want to make anything that puts me at risk. I can see the intrinsic associated, deeply rooted emotional insecurities attached with someone who feels like they have to do that. It's almost like you are okay being the guinea pig because you don't value yourself, or you think you hold such little value that you need to do stuff like that. I don't necessarily feel that way, but it's almost like it's an obvious thing. Even if I don't feel that way, maybe on some level I do. I don't like that shit. I feel like I'm worth more than that. And having kids and stuff, why am I still making these stupid videos? I love keeping people safe. I love helping people. It's like a catch-22, but I can do it in a way that doesn't hurt me. Long story short, even in low doses, I've been pretty much knocking at the door of an actual full trip. No word of a lie, just off those minuscule microdose amounts. If I'm being honest, I feel the 2CB at 5 was pushing it. That's a high 2CB microdose. Microdosing 2CB should probably be in the 2.5 milligram range. 5 is definitely pushing things. I would say that was the catalyst of the effects. That plus to be honest, the 15 micrograms 1C PLSD. That's a pretty small shroom microdose. But hey, the combo was fucked me up. I have a headache. I don't feel good. When I fell down the stairs, it almost felt like my brain glitched for a second and I just lost control and fell. Maybe I had a mini seizure. I don't know. Now I'm facing the repercussions of having this stupid video idea. So if you're someone watching and you are considering thinking it's going to boost your mental prowess to microdose to mix your microdose, or if you're just thinking you want to get effed up and mix substances for a real trip, bring those doses way down, man. I think I've shown, at least to myself, that even in microdose levels, mixing substances can have a profoundly different effect than if you were to consume them on their own. Any one of those microdoses on their own, I would have been totally fine. But the combination has launched me into some pretty paranoid anxiety. Can't even speak anymore. I'm out, man. I'm done. I don't want to put my brain in danger. I think anyone out there who's thinking about, mixing drugs, it's not worth it, man. Don't do it. But why would you listen to me? Don't listen to me. Don't listen to a damn thing I have to say.